So the heat wave is here. Let's talk. Recently, by the time, from this video, a couple of weeks ago, the CEO, the big guy at Spotify, sent out a social media post sharing his thought about the process of music making and songwriting, and as he put it, content creation. That really didn't sit well with a lot of people within this industry or within this field of art, myself included. And I really don't like naming people. I really don't like calling people out, or in any shape or form, like singling out individuals for sharing their opinion, sharing their beliefs. That's what you believe in, and I guess that's okay. That everybody's a snowflake, right? However, it really impacted my desire and my motivation to do more music stuff. You know, I wanted to have released at least two or three songs, at least sent them up for release in June and in July. I finished most of my job. I just never, got the final kick to finish it up and to send it up all the way. And this is partially because of my increasingly more occupied and busier schedule and education things, master thesis, internship things, and partially because of the world's biggest music distributor, the company, the place where it makes it easy for my art to be heard and to be listened to and to be watched and to be devoured with relative ease on my end. To think of us as content creators. I don't like to look at my music as content. I don't think anybody in their pure spiritual vision would consider art content, and the reason is in the names. If I remember correctly, if I believe correctly, art is something that's timeless. Art is something that's sempre eternae, as people might say in Latin. It's forever, it's eternal. It's something that sits outside of the boundaries of time. You can listen, you can devour that piece of art, whatever it is, not just music, talking about cinema, books, whatever, literature. And you can come back to it at any time you want, and you can live and breathe it once again. However, with the word content, it's one of those words I don't like. You create something that's designed to be consumed and or possibly forgotten. And that made me ask myself what type of a music maker I am. Am I the type of person who creates something to remain relatable, just to be heard, just to be seen for clicks and views and for algorithmic love? Or do I want to make something, which I always believed was the case, that speaks a story from a personal experience that I think I was able to capture and crystallize forever and for everyone. And these two ideas are colliding with each other inside me. However, instead of pointing fingers and trying to blame people and just attack the idea and going into depressed and sad boy mode, one thing I have learned to do when I'm faced with conflicting opinions and conflicting ideologies, at least conflicting to my own, or in this case the masses of artists, I like to look at the pathology of flaws, if we consider this as a flaw. If this is a flawed take on which the music industry seems to be run on right now at large. What made the big boss, the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company, probably the biggest music distribution company in the world for decades at least, what would make him say something like this? What would make him look at us, the people who are contributing with our arts, therefore our lives and our experiences and our souls, to say something so out of touch, or maybe is it me? Am I out of touch? Is this like how other songwriters and musicians look at their music? Is it the case for everybody else and just not me? Like, is everyone looking at their music as a piece of content, or is there more to this than I know? I know that there are some people who would like to look at music release schedules, and they create a buffer of songs, and they finish them one by one and release them like every month or every 2 months. Something that is very exciting for me as an idea, but I don't know if it's realistically the way to go. I know, and going back to my previous point, that Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, all of these platforms, YouTube Music, YouTube itself, these things are run on algorithms, on systems that are automatically detecting what is liked, what is clicked on, what is listened to for 10 seconds in the case of Spotify, and if it can drive more click-through rate to the website or not. If it does, they would be automatically added to some kind of a playlist somewhere, and therefore you would be favored with the algorithm. Therefore you will be listened to, watched to, heard, or more. In the case of YouTube, you have your thumbnails, you have your clickbait stuff. All good, all fine. This is the traditions of the trade. This is how the game is played. But at some point, I like to stop and ask myself, like, this philosophical question as, am I a songwriter, am I a musician, am I a storyteller, or am I just a content creator? Which means that whatever is the trend that day, that week, that month, I just follow it, or I just share my stories and hope they're heard. In the past, God knows how many years, I've always liked to look at the second one, because the first one would, for me, was heresy, was just wrong. And I don't think I'm going to change my opinion. However, the recent post, the message from the Spotify CEO, I guess, opened a bunch of old wounds and poured a bunch of salt in it. It remains to be seen. Anyway, getting back to the points of the recent videos, I mentioned this a couple of videos back, I think, that I applied for this year's music festival like we did last year and the year prior to that. The first time I did it, I wasn't accepted. The last year, which was the second time, I got accepted. This year, to follow in the traditions, my case didn't get accepted, which is okay, which is fine. However, because I was super excited for this whole project, I wrote and rewrote a few of my old songs into like a 4 or 5 mini project in order to send to the band so that they could practice for the show. And hearing the results, I feel like it would be such a shame if I don't share it with the people. So I'm gonna finish everything up. I still haven't found a catchy name for it, but I'm gonna release them as a mini EP, or as an EP, I guess you could call it that, as a mini album. I think towards the end of June, depending on how the dates and the whole paperwork goes with Spotify. Ironically, down never means out. It's okay. When I received the email that my case wasn't accepted, I was at work. I was in a work meeting, and it was like a flash, it was like a moment, and I didn't get sad as much as I thought I would be if I wasn't accepted. Probably because I just had I have so many things to say that even if this show doesn't happen, there's always other ones, there's always other things, right? So we'll see. I don't know yet. All I know is that I'm full of life, I'm full of hope, I'm full of energy for the next few weeks and a few months. I have a ton to share. A lot of them are really good. And yeah, this has been my expose on content creation versus songwriting. I don't know. I think this is gonna be a title for this video. Take care of yourselves. Can we talk? Okay. Crows, always a good sign. Always a good sign. Take care. I'll see you soon. Stay safe. Stay sane. Let's see if we can make the world a better place together. And peace.